You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. It's time to move into our communities to bring out some challenging issues that have been left unattended to. Perhaps authorities have not seen or heard about it, and it is our responsibility to bring their attention to this. We go all the way to some part of the northern region. There is a school, Famisah School, that had its roof ripped off all the way back in last year. Now, nothing absolutely has been done about it. Where are the students learning? How are teachers prepping students? And what exactly is going on? Will the school actually get the needed attention that is required? Our correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira, put a report together on the state of the Famisah School. And let's take a look at it. When we are done, we'll find out from people who need to make sure that this is not the situation on what they are doing about it. Let's take a look.
The news team was met with a side of the school buildings, which roofs have been ripped off. The Famisah Community School comprises both primary and junior high. The visit was the first day after the teacher unions called off their 2-week strike. The worried teachers of the school narrate to City News how the school has been neglected even after a visit by the district assembly and NADMO officials after the rainstorm incident. Currently, teaching and learning occurs under very harsh conditions, a situation both teachers and students bemoaned. Some of the students tell City News they are often not motivated to come to school because of the situation. They are making a passionate appeal to the authorities and other benevolent organizations and individuals to come to their aid.
This our structure. It's not good, comfortable to sit on it to learn. If you want to learn, the zinc is disturbing us. When it is about to rain, unless we will close, and if it is about 2 o'clock, the sun is disturbing us unless we close. So this thing disturbs us when we are learning.
We feel uncomfortable. When it is rain, our class becomes loud. We can't sit on it unless you close from school. And the authorities to come to our aid to do it. If not that, our lives is even risk.
Teachers also share their frustrations with City News.
This class is class 2, to be precise. And these are the roof. Because of the structure of the building, I've been telling my people to come to school very early. Because when the sun starts scorching, it will be scorching them so that we cannot sit under this condition. Because of that, we have been coming to school very early so that we come and teach. Around 10 o'clock, school will stop. Because we cannot sit under this scorching sun. And when it rains too, it becomes very difficult for us to sit under this. If you look at how it has been roofed, we cannot sit. And since because of we have inadequate chairs, the people are sitting on the floor. And they'll be using the book, while the book will become dirty and torn. And when they can even use the book maybe because they don't have inadequate chair, they use the book that they can use for maybe 1 term or 2 term. Because they don't have chair, they'll be using about 3 or 4 before the term will end. And this is really affecting the teaching and learning.
Because of the nature of the building, you can't sit in it and then teach. The students, when they come, the temperature, when it rises, when the sun is too high, they can't sit and then concentrate in class and learn. And then you, as a teacher, you'll be there sweating all over, and then how to do your delivery becomes difficult. And then when it starts raining too, another problem. You have no place to sit. Teaching and learning will not be able to go on. So it disrupted a lot of things from that time up to now. Most of our furniture got spoiled, and then books too, many got wet, and then we discard many of them. So you can't put them into use again. So because of that, we lack materials as well as furniture.
It's really affect the school, like during a rainy season like this time. No? You can't sit in the class and teach whilst it rains. So you have to go out from class. And also the the children, they are not having chairs, furnitures to sit on it. They will be sitting on the floor, whereby they will be disturbing the class. And we've been posted here to teach. So when you see something like this, no, it will not even boost your morale to even teach or encourage you to teach. So we are pleading on you, or the government to come and help us, to come. We will get the energy and the morale to teach the children.
When it is raining, we can't be in the class. And anytime, if the sun should rise, the teaching and learning cannot go successful. So we are finding it difficult. And maybe now that you are coming in, maybe they will do something about it for us too.
Community members also added their voice by urging authorities to address the situation.
The state of our school is very bad. It have been unroofed since last year. Teachers have been complaining for government to come to their aid to fix their school back, for them to facilitate the teaching and learning in this school. But they are not getting it. It is really affecting their teaching and learning. The student cannot sit in the classroom whenever it is threatening to rain. You have to go back home. Whenever the sun is scorching, they can't even sit in it. The teacher they are not feeling comfortable to teach in these classrooms. How can you sit in this hot sun to teach students to understand? Whenever it is raining, they have to go home. If they do not go home, their books and other teaching materials will get wet or get soaked, and it will get spoiled. So for that matter, they are pleading on government to come to their aid to fix their school back for them, for the teaching and learning to go on successfully.
All right, so that's a report there by our colleague Mohammed Alabira. Now we have the assemblyman for the Famisah electoral area in the Northeast region on the line. Kofi Adams, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so give us a sense of how long this school that we're talking about has had its roof in this situation.
Famisah Primary School and the DHS started on that issue on 2016.
Okay. Wow.
2016. Why they were trying to roof it, but not able. As we are speaking here currently, when you go there, there's no place for them for the children to sit. Every place is vandalized. So now we are just calling the assembly. They are all coming to look. The NADMO and all those people are there observing it and go away. Nothing has been done. So Famisah School is a school, it's an old school, which is it has been there for long. And now the children cannot go to school again because when they go, raining is beating them, the sun, they cannot sit. So some of the students are dropping out from school.
So Mr. Adam, what seems to be the issue? I mean, since 2015, honestly, you can't say that the assembly has not been able to raise money over the last 7 years towards this.
As I'm speaking to you, we always inviting the assembly. They will go observing, come, nothing has been done. Since from that beginning from 2016 up to now, nothing has been done of roofing. It was the teachers where they tried to roof and the roof and then the wind came and then removed it off again. So from there, nothing. As I'm speaking to you.
So have you spoken to any of the authorities like DCE? What are they saying? What's the DCE, for example, saying? Even I can remember last week, the last 2 weeks, we went to the DCE, we spoke, and then they said they will do it. We should exercise patience. When there's a fund, they will do it. So that's why they have been saying. And then it's like the understanding is not there. So as we are speaking, if anybody who can come and then help the students, the future leaders, so that they can able to go back to school, the person is ready to come. Because as we are following them, they are not doing it. I don't think. As Ghana is very hot.
All right. So, do you have any information from the GES or the education side of things? What are they also saying?
Well, they are also observing it several, trying to do, but it's like they are not able. They are not able.
All right.
It's not an issue.
Okay, Mr. Adams, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so that was Kofi Adam, who is the assemblyman for the Famisah electoral area. Of course, Famisah is in the northeast region, just to give you some perspective. We need to speak to the DCE of Tripoli, who's in charge of that area. But again, we come to the point where we see people who are supposed to be in charge acting as though they are at the mercy of, circumstances. It's like they are rather acting as though how we would.
They're playing victims.
Yes.
Yeah, and honestly, now this is very draining.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
So if for us who are just talking about it are feeling drained, I wonder how the people who have to study and teach under these circumstances feel. Because you get up and you know that by 10 o'clock a.m. We can't do much because it's too sunny out there. You know that when it's a bit cloudy, we have to just close down, get everybody to leave. Is this how we are preparing people? For me, it appears we are just going round in circles. We just pay lip service to stuff like this. Now, you ask yourself, how much would it cost? Same thing happened to the government hospital in Bimbila. And it was just about 20,000 cities to solve this problem. How much would it cost, to put this kind of aluminum zinc on the structure, just to provide some kind of decent environment for...
And you know what he said? He said that the teachers had actually attempted, and they actually roofed up to a point, and another rainstorm came to clear it. Now, why should teachers, out of their meager salary, even be doing such a thing when we have a whole institution, a whole district assembly that for 7 years, since 2015, are watching on?
It appears that sometimes with these kind of DCEs, MCs, and all these kind of things, it looks like we need to put somebody there.
Yeah.
So someone is there.
Yeah.
And because we are not really seeing
what they do.
Yeah. You ask them and they are also giving
Making
you back the same complaints.
Yeah,
we are also waiting for this. So sometimes you don't even know who to ask what, because the DCE is also acting like the students. The DCE is acting like the teachers. We also don't know. We're also trying to get... But we need answers, and this is getting frustrating, because these children up there, apart from all the challenges that they have to face at home with poverty levels and all, they go back to school. Sometimes you feel you're going to get some respite, moving to school. But if this is what school is, then really, what kind of education are we giving people?
Exactly.
Education is supposed to better your life. If this is what we are doing, then what is it? We've been joined by the DCE for Tripoli, Hajia Zuera. Hajia, thank you very much. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning.
Hajia, when was the last time you visited school?
Yes, I think somewhere 3 weeks ago.
And what were your impressions when you saw the state of the school?
Of course, it's quite devastating. It is very worrying. And I sent my engineer and administrators there, I think last month. So when they came to give me the situation, I went there myself to have a look at what was really happening there. And then I think 3 weeks ago, we sat, myself and management, and put everything together. And we have put it out to look for a contractor to come and work on it.
So, Hajia, when you say you put everything together, what exactly do you mean?
I mean, it comes with cost. And they had to, the engineer went there and raised everything that it needed for us to go and work on. So, assembly work. Management had to sit and then put plans together. The very week, 3 weeks ago, when we wanted to attend to it, then we had an emergency. We had issues of conflict at Junjung and Biapenu. So we had to slow down on it and then divert our attention to make sure we are able to keep the issue of the conflict.
Right. Now, what exactly needs to be done in the school?
We have to do re-roofing, complete re-roofing.
So that is the problem, is
yes,
roofing
please.
issue?
Yes.
And how long has this problem persisted?
Oh, I understand it's been there for the past 3 to 4 years.
Haja, how long have you been in office?
About 10 months now.
And the problem is still there. And up till now, we don't really even have funds to it. How much is it costing anyway?
I
don't.
Okay, so it's not the only facility that has been ripped off.
Okay.
In my district, I have lots of ripped off schools, numbering almost 15.
Okay.
I don't know what the problem really is. So we have come on board to educate on planting trees around the schools so that maybe whenever it rains, we are able to stand the storm.
I think that is a brilliant idea,
Yes.
building the trees. But now that the roof is ripped off, what is happening? How much do we need? So let's limit the conversation to the Famisah School. How much do we need to roof Famisah now?
As I'm speaking with you, I am not in the office. And so I would have to get back to the figures.
So Haja,
what I know is
yes,
that
please
the
go on.
engineer went to do the calculations of whatever is needed. And he came to tell me. And when I went there myself and saw what had happened to the structure, I knew that, no, we needed a complete roofing, as he suggested. So, yes, that was what they put together.
Haja,
but the figures are not yet.
I'm asking how much because assuming there's even, let's leave government aside, assuming there's a philanthropist who wants to help, you can't even tell if we need maybe roughly 10,000 cities, 20,000 cities, you have no idea. That you sat with the engineers 3 weeks ago, they presented a paper to you. You have no idea unless you refer to your documents. You can't tell us whether we need maybe about 20 or it was in the region of this or that unless you refer to papers. Is that the case, ma'am?
Yes, please, because I don't want to be quoting wrong figures to you. So if we need the figures, I would get back. I can make a call to my engineer and then I'll get back to you.
Right. Now, when did they say the work will be done? For instance, if monies are made available to them, how long will it take for them to finish this work?
Madam, we are still in the planning process. As I'm speaking with you, if I tell you it is going to be done, because all of that depends on funding. Do you get it? So if I tell you it is going to be done, and I just explained to you the initial plan we had towards it.
Haja, let me ask my question again. So for instance, let's say we need about 5,000 cities to roof it. This is just an assumption. If we have the 5,000 cities, how long, so for instance, if today you have the 5,000 cities, how long will it take? I'm not saying the 5,000 is there, and I agree with you that unless the money is made available, the work can start. But what I'm asking is, if you have the money today, how long did the engineers tell you will take to roof the building?
Oh, when you have funding, as for roofing a building, he also said some of the wood was rotten. So technically, a month should be enough to roof that building.
Right. Now, since 3 weeks ago, what have you done in terms of securing the funds to do this project?
Okay, so like you know, funding of the assembly normally is based on common fund. Do you get it? And the common fund that we had is what I'm just telling you, that we had to channel it to taking care of some emergency conflict we had in the same district. Do you get me? So currently I have reported to NADMO to see if they can help me with some roofing sheets. Through the director of NADMO in the district to the region, and even the deputy NADMO director in Greater Accra, I called him on that same building. So we are working. They said anytime they get roofing sheet, they will get back to me. So
Haja,
and when we get funding, yes. Or
so
if we get philanthropists to help us, that would be an awesome idea as well.
So as it stands now, there's no help coming to Famisah School?
There is help in the pipeline. Once we have been there and taken all of the necessary things we need to do for them, I would say that there is help for them.
You don't have time. You don't have timelines. You don't even know how much it's going to cost. We don't know the money that was brought in had to be used for another emergency. Haja, is education a priority in your area?
Of course, education is the biggest priority in my area, and I think everywhere else. But you know that. But when issues of conflict comes in, it comes to map any other plans you have for other important programs. Do you understand? My district is just unfortunate.
Haja, I'm surprised you are laughing about this. It's not funny. Because
I'm not laughing. I just sighed. I can't laugh about this.
No, because looking at pictures from the area, it is very, very frustrating. Because if at 10 a.m.,
I can't laugh about this. How did you think I'm laughing?
Well, I'm surprised. Maybe because I can't see you and I'm listening to you. So it sounded like...
So I sighed.
Very well. Okay.
You get it.
Okay, yes. I get that. I get that. Yes. But what is the role of the Interior Minister in ministry in resolving, at the assembly level, in resolving conflicts? So education can also get their due.
They have done, they are doing their best. As you know, since the conflict started, currently, the ones we are dealing with are as a result of farmland. And if you don't run into it before you know, they are already at each other and burning their houses and destroying properties. So when it happens like that, we have to put security there.
Right now, the situation at Famisah is that when it is 10 a.m., when the sun is coming out, they have to halt activities in the school because they can't be under the scorching sun. When it looks cloudy, they have to close the school because they can't accommodate the rains that will come. What is going to happen moving on? What are you doing? Would there be some kind of temporary structure, to put these students in whilst we wait for help to come to fix the Famisah School? What is happening? Or these children will have to deal with the problem. After 10, they have to go to their homes. And these are students who are also preparing to write same exams as their counterparts in other regions. What are you doing, as a temporary measure?
Okay, thank you very much. I think that, like I told you before, education is the most important priority to every district assembly. And just 3 weeks ago, I sat with the Director for Education, and we were dialoguing on how to be able to resolve their problems as to managing them. We were looking at the other schools around them to see how we could make them for the meantime, but we hadn't settled on the way forward yet. So when, in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is that we are looking at all of those measures to take to get them still go to school like their colleagues are doing until help comes. But whatever it is going to take the assembly to get that place reroute, we are also working at them. Like I told you, we have written to NADMO, and then we are just waiting that they respond to us.
Haja, do you have an idea the student population at No, it's okay. I mean, how do you know how many schools you have in your area, in your district?
The total schools?
Yes, yes, the number of schools.
The total number of schools?
Yes, maybe primary to JHS.
I would have to look into my data.
Right, thank you very much, Haja. No, before you go, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Haja,
Yes.
you keep saying that education is a very important priority for you. Now,
Yes.
I'm wondering how it can be that important when you have not only Famisah, but 15 other schools with ripped roofs that you haven't attended to yet. And yet you say quite confidently that education is a priority. It doesn't seem to be in sync.
Okay, so if you, like I told you, it is not only Famisah that has that challenge. The next community is called Mayamam. They also had similar rip-off. And if you go to Mayamam today, it's been worked on. Do you get me?
So we can send our correspondent to the community to check?
Oh, yes, you can send your correspondent to Mayamam community, after Famisah, Mayamam community. If they go there, they would see that the school is currently in good shape and students have started enjoying their facility.
I see.
So I am not just saying it by mouth that education is the most priority. Myself and you know it, isn't it?
No, I don't know it. I have to depend on what I see on the ground.
Okay, so yes.
Yeah.
It's a process. It's not a day job that the assembly can just wake up and get all of the schools done. So we are in the process and we are working towards it.
All right. Thank you very much, Haja
You're
Zuwero.
welcome.
Thank you. All right. So we were speaking with the DCE for Tripoli, Haja Zuwero Nashiru, and she's given us a sense of the relative importance of the education to the district assembly there in the district of Tripoli. Fema, she said she wasn't laughing, but I think viewers...
Well, maybe we don't know what laughter is,
Yeah.
Well, maybe she has a long way of sighing, But quite honestly, I think that if Education Ministry, Honorable Yawadutrum is watching, this is embarrassing, because you don't have answers to anything, So I asked how many schools she has because of, what you also just was trying to find out from her. You have 15 schools that have their roofs ripped off. You are thinking of bringing the students from Famisah School that you don't even know how many they are, to some schools. Which schools are we talking about? Because the schools you have rightly said.
So a lot of generalized...
You get it, some vague statements.
Yeah, a lot of generalized, vague, political talk, really. That's how I can put it. Because there are no specifics in everything we were asking.
Because for me,
here,
if you tell me that this situation is very, very key, you should be able to know that, okay, I can't tell you that it will cost maybe 20,579.5 this person.
But at least,
but I know that
it won't go above,
the figure that came to me is around this. So my point is, if you are driving in town and the minister calls you that, okay, so or any member from government calls you that I watch your interview, with City, how much do we need? You have to tell your bosses that you have to go to the office and go and find the thing and come and check it. Now, when you have the money, how long will it take to do it? You are not even sure. Now, you have to take the students.
So I don't know what they did in the management meeting. I don't know what conversation
I'm surprised. You have to take the students from Famisah to different schools. You don't even know how many students are there. So if you call a certain school and they ask you that, okay, so how many people are coming, what do you tell them? You have 15 schools in your district that also have similar problems. You don't even know the number of schools in your district. So really, when you get up every morning to say you are going to work, what do you know about your district? What do you go there to do?
The most important is education. And yet she has very little knowledge as far as education is concerned. So what do you actually know about the work in your district?
That's what I'm trying to know.
This is the most important tool.
Exactly. This is your priority.
Your priority.
And you have no idea. And you are very relaxed about it. You find it very funny. Although you say you are not laughing. Hajia, this is very unacceptable. And I think that when you sit back and play back this conversation, you should know that you haven't done much service, you know, to the people of Tripoli, honestly. And I think that people whose responsibility it is to put, you know, leaders in some of these areas should also sit back, listen to some of these things, you know. If you don't do reviews, these are things that will let you know how they are performing. And it is embarrassing to everybody.
I say, look, let's go back to the voting conversation, because when you've been voted to sit in that place there, you will behave differently than just being in. It's like you've just gotten a free job that you're going to collect salary, whether you work or you don't work, or you will collect salary. When you've been voted for, you will now see whether you can continue to be doing whatever you like.
And these children's parents are paying taxes.
Yeah.
The taxes that are being used to pay you. Yeah. And you have no idea what's happening in your area. You can't tell. You don't know. You did this. You did.
It's shocking.
No, I mean.
It's shocking. Yeah.
Anyway,
this is the leadership that we have in the country. You see, forget about what the politicians tell you. This is what we call leadership in Ghana.
Yeah.
The average kind of leadership that happens. This is a classic scenario for you. You don't need to be told. We didn't say it. You heard it yourself. You saw what happened in the conversation. You heard everything that went on. You take a decision.
Because in the whole of Tripoli, this is the person who can lead affairs.
Yes.
That is what it means.
It's the leader.
Is government's representative.
This is the person. This is Jubilee House's representative.
Yes, this is Nana Akufo-Addo's leg in Tripoli.
Yes.
And this is how what is going on.
Mr. President,
well,
that's your representative in that part of the country where some votes came for you.
We say education is our priority. But we have some children somewhere that it's after a little after 8:30, in about an hour and a half,
they can't stay
close.
They can't stay in
because
school.
They can't be in the sun. And you are posting people, young people who want to start life, you know, to areas like this, and you don't understand why when you post people to these areas, they don't stay. Are we saying we don't understand and we don't know why? Because of course, why would I want to go to an area like Aku through the training? I probably also came from a situation like this, you know, and I have struggled through. And I have to go back to serve my country under these circumstances when I see the flamboyant lifestyle of other people, of certain people who needs to first and foremost lead the sacrifice campaign. They are not doing that. So really, why should people do that? You know, there's a teacher somewhere who struggles all the time. These teachers try to even roof the building. When the DCE herself doesn't know what is even happening and can't be bothered, and she finds it funny.
Think about it. If you have 10, 15 teachers coming together to try and roof a building, and the DC says, I don't know how much it's going to cost. It's my engineer who has the figures. I don't know how long it will take to fix it. My engineer has the figures. Even though we went for a management meeting, what questions did you ask? What did you talk about? We all don't know, but you went for a management meeting, all right? And you have 15 other schools, all of them in this state, and you are saying we should go and check and see, well, you know what we do? We will go and check. We'll find out what you are saying. And then if it is not the case, well, the rest of Ghana will soon find out.
This situation has persisted 4 to 5 years.
Listen, they said 2015. The report said 2015.
You get it. You have been in office for 10 months.
Thank you.
And you're telling me that the budget that was supposed to be used for this, there was a certain conflict and there was a certain that...
I even wonder about that because I know that a lot of conflict situations are national security priorities, right? And under the Ministry of Interior, there will by all means be budgets for these things. Now, of course, it could by the way the system works, come from your common fund. But 10 months ago when you arrived, if education was your priority, Famisah would have been the first thing for conversation on your list.
David, you see,
right?
You see, why what she's saying doesn't wash for me is there probably was an emergency, okay? So you had to take the money to go solve conflict issues. But this is a situation where we are asking you that, okay, there might even be somebody not from government who wants to help. You do not have that information. Now, that is my challenge. You know, fine, the money is not there. Anything can happen. We can use the money. But you have no idea how much it will cost. So if somebody met you on the street today and said, I want to give you this amount, how much?
How much you need?
You tell the person you don't know, and until you go and look for your documents.
She's not in the office.
Madam.
That's the issue.
This is terrible. I mean, this is bad. You can't be a leader and be acting like this.
But the sad part of it all for me is that these are the people that the president has appointed.
Anyway.
And he's paying them. You know what? I think we should take a short break. We'll continue shortly.